A century old this year, Erica and her husband Werner's Joburg home first leads you through an evergreen indigenous garden with an English country feel. She's just as passionate about nature's design as she is about the man-made kind.
Wow, I love what you've done with the place. It seems as though I've stepped into a Victorian garden. When searching for a home, what were you looking for and how did you find this 100-year-old cottage?
We were actually looking for vacant land, and then this came up, and it was the most ideal situation because we could live in the cottage in the front while developing the back part into our dream home. At the moment, where you are standing is going to be our memory garden, which is going to stay exactly as is, and I really want to pay tribute to what this garden was.
The house is a blank canvas for Erica to innovate new styles and techniques for her business, Formenteria. The kind which have won her selection as one of South Africa's top 40 next-generation creatives.
We've moved from a Victorian-style garden to a more rustic farm-style patio.
Yes, so I think in all South African homes, the patio is where the magic happens and where people get together. I've also portrayed that in putting up my wedding menu from 8 years ago to show that this is kind of the festive place for friends. I also wanted to bring in a very farm-style look with this exposed white painted bricks, the hanging plants, bringing in a bit of greenery even on the patio, and then also a very rustic wooden table. But that balances out by using a very Scandi chair that makes it more farm style instead of that very rustic French country.
Inside or out, Erica sees paint as her best, most affordable friend, and she's unafraid to use it.
Oh, I did not expect white walls on the outside and black walls on the inside.
Yeah, so what we wanted was this contrast between this farm-style cottage in white walls, and then you walk in and it's this very warm, sophisticated space. It's got a lot of richness to it, and we also played a lot with our textures and our color use in order to create this kind of very happy, warm, comfortable feeling. When you're working with this kind of extreme neutral of black, also consider your flooring. So we added a little bit of green to the black so that it balances beautifully with the red floors.
So what are some of the elements that you use to complement the space?
The most important element is texture. Texture is always so important, especially when working with these extreme neutrals. So in this room, we've got these hood leather couches with this beautiful, almost red tan leather. And then I contrasted that, as well as the floors, with a James Mudge server, which is oak and neutral and is completely different to the other two items. The art pieces is mainly charcoals, neutrals, as you can see by this piece of Cobus Rousseau and Diane Victor and Ingrid Ace. You can see that these are neutral pieces, but they bring in that kind of texture into this room.
With all these pieces that fit so well together, it must be hard to choose a favorite.
Well, I think the primary space in the house is by the fireplace. So my favorite objects is my Dr. and Mrs. cabinet and this beautiful Melody French oil. But if I had to choose, it would definitely be the mid-century modern fireplace, which is the favorite part which came with the house. And it really embodies everything that I wanted to say in this house, is that it is warm and minimal, but it is bringing old and new together, and it is really a celebration of art and design.
Well, I love the fact that the theme continues even into the dining room.
Yes.
With her father an engineer and mother a jewelry designer, Erica reflects strong artistic and subtle industrial influences.
The dining room is my personal favorite space in this whole house because it is honestly a conversation between all my favorite designers. Starting with my all-time favorite, which is Gregor Jenkin. This is his console table.
Erica is dedicated to bringing the work of such proudly South African designers to the world.
The James Mudge table with its brass tops, and also the paneling in the table, which we found quite interesting. And then the Joe Payne drinks cabinet. So that is where the real conversation in this whole room starts. We think it's such a unique piece and such a beautiful structure, and especially in a dining room, which is quite structured, to have this kind of element is quite different and unique.
Texture is key for Erica, who says we feel with our eyes and look with our touch. Like this sculpture by Peter Mummas, which can be added to over time and constantly invites touch.
With such beautiful pieces, it must have been difficult to light them up in such a dark space.
Yes, I think that was the biggest challenge. The house doesn't get so much natural light. We had to really focus on our lighting. And the trend towards actually using task lighting more than just downlighting the whole house is actually quite a nice trend to fall into, specifically for this home. So I wanted to have this warm feeling, especially because it's the space that we use mostly at night. And in this space, I've used a red-orange light with a vintage feel to create that warmth and also to balance off on the black-green walls and red floors. So there was quite a nice balance created with the color use in the lighting.
She advises not to one-stop shop, but rather to invest in a single piece per year that you really love.
The love affair does continue, and I think wanting to create a gallery space of everything that means something to you and that you value is very hard when you've got a small home. So in a corridor, we created a beautiful glass cabinet that we converted from a broom cupboard. And it basically just gave us more surface space for the things we love, and every inch of wall space gets used, especially when you've got a big piece like this Wessel van Heestian. We try to make it as a door frame so that it just frames when you walk into the home, and then try to find a meaningful space for each piece that we love.
Whatever is in the light gets to shine against the black tone of the walls, like a film screen does in the dark surrounds of a cinema.
Coming into the bedroom, I think the thing that I loved most about the home was emphasized by the fact that we paint everything black, and that is the pressed ceilings. I think it really paid tribute to them and really made them come to life in a more modern, more constructive way. In the bedroom, we've only got our bed. It is minimal, it is luxurious, it is comfortable. It really is this very quiet sanctuary that we can retreat to every night.
Even though this space is minimalistic, it's interesting to see how much detail pops out, from the light fixtures to the dresser to the bed. For anyone who wants to decorate their own space, what advice would you give them?
This home is a reflection of who we are, and 10 years of special pieces built up in time that had meaning and value to us. And I think for any person doing their own home, invest in those pieces, and that will build up a collection that means something to you and says something about who you are.
Surrounded by art and design, with a stoep and garden washed in winter sun, the Schalkwyks have got it made.